intro. I won't go through all of this stuff, but I have been a real estate investor for quite some time, but I didn't start out that way. I was a teacher and coach at the high school level. Then I went into educational publishing, was blessed enough to become the VP of sales of the divisions of 3 different publishing companies. I've taken a lot of real estate investor training, well over 500 hours. I'm quite sure of that. I've completed quite a few real estate deals. I focus on fix and flip. I do a multi-family. And I also just started now getting into the short-term nightly rental, which is a great market. I am a licensed broker, so I'm building a national brokerage team. If you're interested in that, you can reach out to me, whether you want to just be a local broker or if you want to do something on a larger scale nationally or even internationally, which we now have the opportunity to do. As I mentioned, I do have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Randy Pertler. I'd appreciate if you show me some love and subscribe to that channel. And I'll try to get some good content out there to you all the time. And also I'm a deacon at my church in my spare time. So sometimes that takes a lot of time. That is my email address down there, randypertler@onlineowners.com. And my personal cell number, I ask people just to respect my time by not texting or calling me before 8 a.m. or after 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Sunday's my Lord's Day. So all right, let's continue on. So when I first became a real estate investor, one of the first things I wanted to do was write a mission statement to make sure I was focused, knew why I was doing it, how I felt about it, something to keep me anchored. This has been years ago. I really kind of need to revisit this because you can see that there's some things in there about education, about training, because I'm a part of a network of people that train and I think have the best real estate investor training program in the country. And I really believe that real estate investing can be an opportunity, a financial vehicle that people need and want to spread the word out there. And also I want to head them into the right direction to make sure that they are indeed getting the best training possible. If I was to boil down my mission statement really at the core, I think these 3 verses sum it up very well. For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses the soul? Keeping in mind that, hey, you don't want to take advantage of anybody. What good does it do to make a lot of money if you're not doing it in a moral and ethical way? But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. It's kind of the same thing. Focus on the right things. Everything else will be added to you. And the last one, for everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. And that just means as you become successful in real estate, give back. It's what we believe in our group. And stay humble, know the source of your success. All right, so let's get into this particular project and this strategy. So this is a master lease. And we now have taken that master lease on a building. It's a 2-unit building in the city of Chicago. I'm not going to share the address and things like that. I stopped doing that a few years ago on properties. So it's in the city of Chicago. It's a 2-unit building. There's 3 bedrooms, 1 bath in the main floor, and 2 bath, 3 bedroom, 2 bath on the main floor, 3 bedroom, 2 bath on the second floor. So altogether we have 6 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. And what's cool about this particular arrangement is we own the entire building. Shouldn't say own, we master lease the entire building. So we can now short-term rent it, nightly rent it. We could do it by the room, which we've done before. We've done it by the unit, which we normally do, but we've also done it by the building. So you'll see in some pictures and some walkthrough, each one of the units, each one of the 2 units has 3 bedrooms, and those are queen size beds. So that could sleep 2 people in each. So that gets us to 6 people. And then in the living room area, there's a couch that can fold down into a bed. So that could be potentially 2 more people. So we could have as many as 8 in each unit, which would be 16. So that's great. I mean, it makes it very appealing if someone wants to stay downtown in Chicago and they have a big family, a big get together, golf outing, whatever the situation is. The building can accommodate up to 16 people if they rent out both units. When we first took over the building, we actually had some medical students at Rush, which is not that far from the building. And those med students were renting each room out for I'm sorry, was it $1,000 a month? Yeah, $1,000 a month. So it was bringing in $6,000 a month. And as you can see on the screen, we have this under lease for 1 year. We can renew it after that if it's still we still have a good relationship with the owner. But the master lease right now is for $4,350. Now, we had the opportunity, and still do if we wanted to, we could do 100% owner financing, and that would be $6,000 a month. After evaluating both of those opportunities, the cash, really the net cash or increase in equity was about the same. The cash flow is, if you can see, do the math, the difference between the two numbers, the cash flow is $1,650 more by doing a master lease than the owner equity or the owner financing. However, with owner financing, we would be gaining equity on the debt pay down. We have the ability to get appreciation if the property value goes up. And also we have tax write-offs. But as we looked at that, the two were very close. It was about a $1,600, $1,700 equity buildup and tax advantage to own the building. But there's more risk, right? What happens if the furnace goes out? Well, right now, we're the leasers. We're a tenant. We call the landlord and say, you know what? That furnace you put in, even though it's new, it just went out. We need to get somebody over here as soon as possible to get that furnace fixed, right? If we're the owners, there's no phone call other than us to a HVAC contractor, and we got to pay for that. So we weighed the pros and cons. The other thing I wanted to do, and I say we, there's me and another partner, a partner that is part of this real estate investor community and education and training program. We've known each other because she was a private money lender years ago on one of my deals, contacted me about this deal. And so we're partners in it together, the two of us. And as we evaluated, the opportunities, I told her, listen, I would like to have, since we have no history, rental history, other than the med students that were there the year before, that's kind of out of the ordinary. That's not how we're going to be leasing it out. Let's get a year under our belt with history and finances. So then we can decide maybe next year we do the full owner financing, if that makes sense at that time. So what I've got on the screen right now for you is our financials for the last month and a half. We're about halfway here through August now. But last month, you can just kind of see, get an idea. So where it says Airbnb, that's what all the income last month was booked on Airbnb. We didn't have any direct booking. So a direct booking would be someone contacts us and wants to rent out the property, someone that we know, or maybe a previous Airbnb customer. Once you do rent to somebody on Airbnb, you don't get their contact information prior to them renting your place. You communicate through the Airbnb messaging system, which is not a bad system. It's fine. But once it's booked and it's confirmed a couple days prior, like 3 or 4 days prior to them coming there, they actually release. They get my phone number, I get their phone number. We can now communicate directly. So after someone rents it on Airbnb, the next time you would have the option, if they called you directly, to circumvent Airbnb and just rent it directly, because now you have that relationship. However, there are some risks. What's nice about Airbnb and some of the other platforms, they're collecting the credit card, they're collecting the deposit, they're holding that and make sure that they're accountable. So you just have to worry about that. You may have to, charge everything up front and no hold on the credit card, actually charge the credit card for the full stay and maybe some extra, because what if they do damage? So there's pros and cons about doing it directly. Airbnb really kind of has their act together, especially in the city of Chicago, because the city of Chicago charges a tax. So all the revenue that comes in from rentals through Airbnb and any short-term rental platform, Chicago charges a tax. Now, some of the other platforms, they don't have it set up so that they're paying directly to the city of Chicago. Chicago allows Airbnb business into the short-term rental advertising in Chicago because they're going to get their revenue. And that makes sense. We're taking away from their hotel hospitality revenue, right? Tax that they get, they tax hotels, they're now shifting that tax onto us, the private owners or master lease holders of these properties. So with Airbnb, like I said, they will do all the financials. So where you see 11,684.80, that's the net that's coming to us from Airbnb. That's after Airbnb charges a fee to us, charges a fee to the guest, pays the taxes to Chicago, and that's the net. On the next screen, I'll show you a screenshot of one. I have one here in the suburbs. I'll just show you a screenshot of one of the transactions so you can kind of get an idea of how the costs break down. Before I get to expenses, which is the next area, by the way, I do have pictures of the property. I did do a walkthrough on a video, so you will see that. But before I get to the expense category, any questions of anything that I've covered so far? Just take yourself off mute if you do, or LaShawn, do you mind if you check to see if there's any questions in the chat or Q&A?
Will do.
Thank you. All right. Okay, I'll continue on. By the way, what's kind of exciting, if you look at July, that's a full month of July, right? If you look at what's booked already in August, we're only at, not even half the month over, right? So that's exciting that we still have a lot of business that we can still book. The building's pretty much booked every weekend through, and that's typical where weekends will go first in an area like Chicago. So I think we're pretty much booked up through the end of September. And I don't know this particular property as well as the other one, because this one, my partner is, she is managing this. So I'm paying her, see this 12% management fee? That's what we worked out in our agreement, that she's going to manage it. She's going to charge me 12%, and it's worth every penny of it. I've seen probably some fees as high as 20 to manage it. And there's a lot of management, a lot of hands-on. It's not just a passive management situation like a monthly rental can be. If you're paying a monthly rental, you might be paying 8 to 12% to your managers that's doing a monthly rental. Believe me, there's a lot more time and work involved in this. So let's just look through the numbers just a little bit so you can kind of get an idea of some of the things that you'd have to pay out if you were to take on this type of strategy. So Price Labs is something that my partner buys a service, and it really helps her to optimize the price. Airbnb has a suggested price. So just when you're a host on Airbnb, it'll tell you like, okay, next Thursday, we're recommending for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath that you should charge $250 a night, let's say. That's fine. That's well and good. They use their own data to try to establish that, look at vacancy, rates at their other Airbnb properties, what they're going for. However, Price Labs goes beyond that, and it actually looks at events. So it knows when what the big concerts are in town, or if there's a Bears game, as was pointed out by David on Saturday. So it looks at all those factors that could influence prices. Because in general, I found that the price suggested on Airbnb is probably lower than what you can get. I mean, they want like 100% fill rate, and that's not always your best. If you look at the wear and tear and the cleaning and all the other factors, the risks involved, if you look at all of those things, 100% occupancy is not necessarily your optimal profit. It could be raise the price up more, and maybe at 80% occupancy, maybe a much better cash flowing situation for you. So that's what that Price Labs are on there. We provide internet. There's the management fee that's on there. The daily expenses are that's everything. Every time we have somebody there, it's kind of the variable expenses, toilet paper towels, shampoo, all those type of things. And then the cleaning. So we have the cleaners actually are contracted to do multiple properties for my partner. So that way we're getting that's a really low rate. My other house, of course, it's bigger. I was paying at least 120. Now I even pay more than 120 for that. But that even includes cleaning, which is great. But that's because they have a lot of properties they're doing for my partner. But that's a great rate right there. But just think about that when you're going into this. Every time you turn that property over, you've got to pay a cleaning fee, right? You got to wash all the sheets. You got to wash all the the towels. Everything needs to be cleaned, especially in this day of COVID. Everything, surfaces, everything needs to be cleaned. And you'll see in the video, I was there shooting this video. Was it yesterday or the day before? And I had to get there between. I think it was yesterday. Yeah. I had to get there between the checkout time and then the check-in time. So checkout time was 11, check-in time at 4. I was there about 3:30 just before the new guests were coming in, and it had just been cleaned and just getting ready. In fact, the cleaner was still there when I was there. So you got your gas bill, which will be higher in the winter, obviously lower in the summer. Electric will be just the opposite, higher in the summer because the AC. There was an AC repair and heating repair. And I'm not sure why that's on there. I'd have to talk to my partner. It must have been something that we agreed to pay at least part of it instead of having the landlord pay for that. So that's on there. There was miscellaneous. There was some different expenses that came up last month that normally aren't occurring. That was a bit of $525. You can see then the rent is what we pay. Remember the Master Lease strategy. We're paying $4,350. And the total expenses then is 88. So the partnership profit between me and the partner, this is after my partner's already been paid $1,400 for her management. We're also split $2,800. So $1,400 a month in passive income on this particular property. Now, here's what's exciting about that. You think, well, $1,400, that's not much. I could do 100 of these because we only bought the furniture, and I think we bought the entire furniture. I got to look at my records, but I want to say we bought the entire furniture and a couple everything. I think I put in maybe $6,000 all in to get this up and running. So think about that. I didn't have to buy the property. The furniture was already pretty much furnished. We bought the furniture that was there. We just added a few things. Yeah, we added some of the TVs because the previous tenant brought in their own TVs. So yeah, we added TVs. But think about that. Let's eliminate the partner because that's confusing, maybe on the numbers wise. But think about it. If you were able to pay let's make the math easy, $10,000 into an investment, no matter what that investment is. You did a one-time investment of $10,000 and you were able to earn, and let's say I didn't have to split this with my partner, almost $3,000 a month. And that's what I put in I think the advertisement on the meetup group was between $2,000 and $3,000 a month, which is basically what we're generating in income. So let's say $3,000 a month times 12 months, that's $36,000 on a $10,000 investment. That's a 360% return on your money. So that's why it's appealing to people, but it's not without risk. Neighbors complain. I've had 2 Airbnb properties, short-term rental properties that I had to advertise on Airbnb in the suburbs. And even though I checked with the city, checked all the things with the local village, I'm shutting my second one down. Just last weekend was the last time I had a renter there. Phenomenal profit. But just because the neighbor's complaining, I don't want to fight that battle with the city. I bought it as a rehab and flip anyway, so I'm going to end up flipping it. But when you're looking at this, to me, the biggest risk, the biggest factor is the neighbors, right? Is the surroundings. So now we're looking at some real high-end properties. We're looking at $1 million properties that are out where they've got 3 to 5 to 6 acres and isolated, where we don't have to worry about possible neighbor complaints, and we can have venues. We could have receptions out there, weddings out there, and so forth. So now that we've gone through the expenses, what questions do you now have?
This is all on a single unit, or it's on a, that's the total
Yeah,
incoming
two-unit
expense
building.
on the building?
yeah,
So
it's a
that's
two-unit
everything
building
combined.
that we own. Yeah, you'll see pictures of it. So it's a two-unit building. So this is two units. The total for 2 units.
Wow. So when am I getting my little souvenir?
What was that? Oh, okay. So maybe that was maybe my mistake. Okay. Anybody else? David, you got any other questions?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, good. All right. So here's one conversation I like to have and address this, which I thought this question might have come up. It's not really a financial question, but that maybe is why you're not thinking about this yet. But how do you get the landlord to agree to lease this property out to you for $4,350 when they know there could be new people in there every single day? Well, I'm not going to go into a deep training. Our company has 3 outstanding days of training, but I will tease you a little bit on it and give you a little bit of idea, things that you've got to highlight. So you could go to your landlord and say, listen, or to the prospective homeowner, I should say, or a building owner that you want to do this strategy with, say, listen, I can pay you 1 month upfront rent. I can pay you a security deposit. You can offer things like I can have automatically debited from my account. And I know you might be concerned about more people being in here than normal renting, but think about this. I am managing this as my business. I have to keep everything perfect. Your place, your building will never be as clean with a regular tenant than what it's going to be with me, because I'm going to have professional cleaners in that building once or twice a week, easily once or twice a week, cleaning everything, making sure everything's perfect. If everything's not perfect in those units, I'm going to get a bad report. It's going to be a bad review of my property that I'm renting out, and that will negatively impact my business. So even though you may say there's some downside to leasing to me in a master lease, the upside is you're going to get rent on the first day of every single month, because this is my business. And if you have it in advance, we can do it in advance. We can work that out. I'm going to clean it like nobody else would ever clean it. I'm going to have a cleaning service in there. And those are some of the things that you want to really stress when you're negotiating it. Now, my partner, what she does is when she's looking at a building that's for rent, for an example, or an apartment or this happens to be a whole building, when she's looking at that, her big thing is that she'll just say, my LLC or my business is looking to rent your unit or your house. Are you okay with my company being on the lease? So that's how she kind of starts the conversation, to just go to see the house. And then after building rapport, walking through the house, telling her what she has in mind, then that's when she really goes into the whole thing about exactly how this would work, the pros and the cons. You're going to get a lot of people to turn it down, but think about it. With this cash flow, how many of these do you need, right, to be able to replace your current income? So you don't need that many. If, let's say, I didn't have a partner and you're at $3,000 a month per building, well, if you have 10 buildings, that's $30,000 a month. You know, if you only have 5 buildings, that's $15,000 a month. That's still pretty good. What, 3 buildings is $9,000 a month. So and again, it's work. If you have a management company, like this one's pretty passive to me. She just sent me the July share of $1,400 to my bank account. I think it was last night. So this is very passive. I have others that are very not passive. Let's put it that way. They're very active. They're very involved. Any questions about that? About dealing with the homeowner, landlord? Again, it's a 3-day training, but if there's some basic questions you want answered, I can do that for you.
Yeah, actually, I got a couple more, Randy.
Okay.
I never heard where this was located.
This is in the city of Chicago. Yeah.
Neighborhood,
Downtown
River
area,
North.
west of the Loop.
Okay. And in a sense, aren't you the rent you're paying $4,350? Is that higher than market rent, or that's market rent?
It's probably a little bit higher than market rent. Good question. Not a lot, but a little bit. He's getting a kind of a premium. The person that now this is kind of unique, that the person, and you'll see the walkthrough, I'll point this out. They bought the house or building, they bought the building and rehabbed it specifically to Airbnb it. So he was short-term renting it himself, and then he had to move out of the country. He's now in England, I believe. So he had to move out of the country. So he had multiple properties, and my partner has this type of situation arrangement on other properties as well. So he kind of knew the value as a short-term rental. Yeah, you could probably get this. I mean, not a lot less, 2,000. I'm trying to think what rents would be there. It's probably just slightly over market rent. The way they constructed the building, though, you wouldn't get this rent probably the way it's constructed right now. It really has to be a short-term rental. You'll see there's no closets in the bedrooms. They're open closets, and he designed it that way so we could get 3 bedrooms in a smaller space and 2 bathrooms, which were more important than a closet. All right, let me show you some pictures, and then I'm going to show you the walkthrough I did. Oh, wait, there might be, one more. Let me show you this first. All right, this is a screenshot. This is not this building, but just to give you an idea, this is a screenshot of kind of the back office of Airbnb. This was my last renter that rented the place for 2 nights. This is the back, see this pool behind me? This is that house that they rented. So 2 nights was $850 a night, times 2 nights was $1,700 for the 2 nights. The cleaning fee, that's over and above, that's what I charge, a cleaning fee of $120. Like I say, I pay about that, maybe a little bit more to clean it. So it's not exactly probably break even. I probably pay a little bit more than that. The guest service fee is what Airbnb charges them on this reservation. And then they have the occupancy taxes that they also have to charge them. And so the guests for 2 nights, they spent almost $2,200 to stay at my property for 2 nights. This particular group was, there were 4 people, 4, 6. I got to think about that a minute. Might have been 7 people, I believe. I think there were 7 people. They were in for a charity golf outing. They loved it. Got great reviews, like all my guests just love it. Perfect situation for them. And then if you look at the breakdown, the house, so this is what the guest pays up top. And then here's what it looks like as the host. So 2 nights for the room fee, the cleaning fee, that goes to me. See, there's a host fee. So I pay just 3%, not much, but I pay 3% to Airbnb. Believe me, for all the hassle and kind of safeguards they have in it. It's well worth it. By the way, they have I think it's $1 million insurance policy for damages to a property. So anyway, it's I'm a pretty big believer in that platform. And like I say, even if I have people coming directly to me, I would think twice whether or not I even wanted to save them the money on the Airbnb fee, because it kind of protects me a little bit more. And then here's the payout. And what's great about it is that the payout now, the first one took a little while when you first open up the account. So let's say someone stays there the weekend. Your first payout you might not see your first payout until, let's say, the following Thursday. Let's say it's in your account. But after you're established with Airbnb, I have someone checking out on Sunday, and the money, I get a notice like on Sunday that the money's been sent. It actually will be in my account usually on maybe Monday, the very next day. I mean, that's pretty quick, right? You can wait a month to get your rent from a tenant. So there's some pros and cons. It's definitely, all these things are factors that you have to consider. All right, let's go to, I'm going to do a quick little run here. Let's do the pictures real quick, and then I'll do a camera walkthrough. So there's the front of the building. There's the inside, as I'll mention in the video. See, they didn't have to do the overhead cabinet. So that actually saved them some money, because they're not storing a bunch of stuff. A lot of times with these short-term rentals, if you have a lot of cabinet space, like I do on this property, because it's really designed as a flip, you get people leaving more stuff in the cabinets. They forget there's too many cabinets to look at when they leave to check to see if they got everything out. So they don't even have wall cabinets here, but there's never been a complaint because there's cabinets in the island, cabinets down here. They can set things on top if they're there for, a couple nights a week or whatever. Here's some more pictures of the unit. So I'll go through these pretty fast just because I've got to walk through as well. So there's the bathroom. Go back to that again. So none of the units, the bathrooms in all the units are showers, walk-in showers as opposed to bathtubs. It's an LED mirror. You'll see it later on. You see very modestly decorated. That's pretty typical. This little thing I show in the video, this is like a desk that they could fold. It folds down and then you could set it up, and props up as a desk, or it could be a place to eat if they wanted to eat in a room, if there are multiple people in the sharing the unit. The basement does have a washer and dryer. They don't have access to it. That's just for the cleaning service to go in there. So this is both units. I don't have them labeled, but some of these are the upstairs. Okay, and you'll see it in the walkthrough as well. This is that open closet, I call it. See, so you can see this was specifically designed for short-term rental, right? You couldn't get away with this being an apartment and this is your closet, right? But if you're staying a couple days, boom, you hang stuff up, you put stuff in this open drawers. Again, you're less apt to leave anything there. And what they did, because each one of these floors are only about 1,000 square feet, just a little over 1,000 square feet, but yet they have 3 bedrooms in it, and 2 bathrooms, which would be difficult to do when you have full-size closets. So they made the decision to forego the full-size closets because they're going to want this use. They don't have the expense of framing them out, nor are they using the space for a closet. And they have these little, open portable hanging areas. See, it has hardwood floors, very, very beautiful. There's some more shots there. All right, let me do a live walkthrough. I think that's the last one. There we go. Okay, let's go into the first apartment. This is the ground level apartment. And that can make down into a bed, so that can sleep 2 people there. You always want to get as many sleeping areas as possible. You can see it's just modestly decorated. There's a nice little eat-in spot there. Plus you've got the island, also as a bar as well. And over here, we didn't have to put in, this was designed. We didn't do this project. This project was already done, but it was designed as a short-term rental. So they knew that they didn't need that much cabinet space, that they weren't living here full-time. They would just be here a day, 2, 3, a week, maybe a month at the most. So we don't need all that cabinet space, which saves some money on the rehab. This was a gut rehab, but we didn't have to do that. All right, let's go down the hallway. You can see it's set up with the bedroom here to the left. And what we have here is the open closet, is what I'll call it. So this was designed right from the start as a short-term rental. So instead of having a closet, which then you probably can only have 2 bedrooms in here, it allowed us to have 3 bedrooms in here, kind of with this open closet design. Each have their own flat screen TV. You can see here, very nice, modestly decorated. These are tables that come out, so they can use that as a desk or eat in their room. We've got the bathroom here, one of the 2 bathrooms. So there's a bathroom there. Then on this side, we've got another bedroom set up the same way. The cleaning service was just here. Got in and out as quickly as they can because the renters, one group left at 11 o'clock and a new one's coming in at 4 o'clock. So they'll be here in a minute. Same setup here. And the bathroom. And then this is here, their own furnace system. High efficiency furnace. And then this is out the back. Here's the deck to the upstairs. You can see that light comes on. Okay, now we'll head upstairs. See the beautiful hardwood floor stairs. So this is the second unit. Let's take a look at this. Some people have dropped their stuff off. Check-in is actually in about 45 minutes, but that's fine that they're here early. It's a very similar cabinet layout. And again, you don't really need over wall cabinets because they're not really staying that long to put a lot of food and items and things like that in there. So we've got that. Let me just turn on maybe the lights here to give you a little more light. Let's see. That makes into a bed there, so two people could sleep on that as well. And here's one bedroom here with their TV and their little open exposed closet, which is a very efficient way to use it. Same thing here with their TV. See, this was constructed and designed for a short-term rental. So that's why there's no closet. Instead, they use the space to get more bedrooms in here and more bathrooms, which is what really allows us to get the maximum rent. See here, that's a nice little table that would go out. And then the two bathrooms kind of mirror each other here, as well as in the first floor. So there you've got there. See if the LED mirror is working there. Looks good. And then here is the other bathroom. See, we can see the electronic temperature control that you can control from the phone. So the reason these lights, people aren't familiar with it, they'll walk in the hallway, the lights will come on. There's the furnace utility for this particular floor. You can see high efficiency furnace. I'll just walk out here in the deck real quick. I'm not spending too much time. This is, understand a doctor owns that building there, built their own little sky deck there, and then playground for their kids. So this is, of course, leading down to the first floor. I would say in terms of the strategy is it's another one to have in your back pocket. Not everyone's going to jump at the opportunity to allow you to do a master lease, but think about it in terms of no money, no credit strategies. I mean, there's not many strategies that can produce that kind of income without any money or credit, or without very little risk. I mean, your risk really is the lease, right? So if, let's say, worst case scenario, you enter into this. So what's the risk? Worst case scenario, I put money into furniture. I put let's say you put $10,000 into getting this thing up and running and getting the security deposit and all that kind of stuff. And after a while, it gets shut down. They don't allow you to do renter. There's so many complaints or whatever. You go back to the landlord and say, listen, can we work something out? My purpose of doing this was to short-term rent it. I'm not able to do that. What if I pay you a buyout of the lease instead of for the whole year? I'll have everything in super good condition. You can start showing it right now. I'll even show the property for you for someone else to lease it. And then I'll pay you maybe 2 months lease or a month lease or whatever, and we'll part friends. So they say, well, yeah, that could be a bit of a loss, but look at that versus other strategies. What if you had to buy the building and the roof leaked and the furnace went out and then you couldn't short-term rent it anyway, and then the neighbors complained. So anyway, you got to evaluate the pros and the cons, and certainly you should be well educated and trained to understand all the nuances, all the details of this strategy. And I would encourage you again to contact the person that got you on this property tour, and they can talk to you more about the detailed training that we do offer.